Stories on new technology shifts could be quite powerful. It could really capture everybody's imagination, excitement, and investment dollars. In a way, that's good, but it's also very risky. I'd like to talk about how a story could be really powerful, but yet really lead to big losses. I'm going to talk about the internet.com bubble. I'm also going to talk about the AI hype bubble, as well as cite a couple of historical stories that really led to big losses. Overall, I think the AI story is interesting, but I'm careful with it because I lived through the dot com bubble. And the dot com bubble was a time when I lost my complete investment in a couple stocks. Now, a couple of the companies in that era have become some of the biggest companies in today's stock market. Those companies include Amazon, Apple, Microsoft. They all made it through that period. Alphabet, which is Google, was actually born during the dot com bubble. So it's certainly was a real story, the dot com bubble, that became reality. But the story itself became really powerful in that era. People just thought, boy, these stocks are going to be worth so much money, and they would eventually be worth a lot. So they really ran up the stocks of Intel and Cisco because, for good reason, they felt like everybody was going to need to buy a PC and everybody was going to have to get on the internet. Both things did happen. But both those stocks went parabolic and they ended up crashing down. Both stocks have never gotten back to the stock market highs that they achieved during the dot com era. So that's a lesson that the story had a lot of power and it got people to overinvest and forget about valuations. That's risky. And as I've always said, I never invest in something I don't understand. And I always invest on valuation. And valuations really do matter. So let's talk about the AI hype cycle. Now, AI could become something that's going to be humongous. It may not. I'm not completely convinced. I think a couple of use cases do look promising. But other than that, I don't see any big shifts in the way that we do business, the way that we do things. Again, there's a few exceptions where I would agree. That's probably going to be really a good use case for AI. For example, call centers. Somebody calling in, they could probably interact with an AI application and have an AI experience to get all the information they need from one of their vendors or a supplier or whomever you need information from. That's a great use case. Autonomous cars, it's taken a long time, but someday maybe they'll be driving around and Uber would have a fleet of autonomous vehicles. That would be interesting. It'd have to be cost effective, but it'd be interesting. Companies like NVIDIA, their stocks have gone parabolic, and that's really risky for the NVIDIA stockholder. Companies like Supermicro Computer, parabolic, and those stocks are beginning to really lose a lot of their value. We'll see if it's just a little bit of a pullback, a correction, or a crash. We need time, and we'll see if that happens. My guess is that they're going to go down substantially. All the stocks in the semiconductor space, it seems, have been bid up. Companies like Broadcom, companies like TSM, they're losing a lot of value today, and it might be a sign of more things to come. We will see. Now, stories have really cost investors money going down to the times of the Ponzi scheme when it started. Charles Ponzi started with a story, and the story did have enough facts, which was that he was using stamps and the international prices of stamps to basically have a method of making money in that space. It had enough facts for people to understand the story, really get captivated by it. And the Ponzi scheme was invented, I guess. Now, Charles Ponzi was found out, and obviously he was persecuted for what he did, but he took a lot of investor money with him. I'm not saying that the dot-com bubble or the AI hype cycle is anything like a Ponzi scheme, but I wanted just to draw the similarity to how stories could be quite powerful and really take investors away from the fundamentals of investing, which is understand the business, make a decision that you want to be a part owner in that business, that you believe that business has competitive advantages, that you want to be a long-term investor. Do your valuations, make sure that you're getting a good price at a minimum, a fair price on a great company, or a great price on a great company. Make sure the balance sheet is really strong, and then invest in companies like that over the long haul. Invest when the time is right. Invest in things that you understand. That's where I try to operate. And I've observed recently that the AI stocks have taken a lot of investors out of that zone, and investors are caught up in the euphoria of a stock going parabolic. It is fun to watch, I have to admit. And I watch from a distance with a level of envy. I wish I would have been an NVIDIA stockholder, frankly. And I owned $100,000 of NVIDIA stock 3 years ago, and I saw my money get multiplied times however number, 10 or 20. That would have been really fun. But reality is the fundamentals did not support that investment, and I didn't make that investment. And now I watch from afar again to see if this AI hype is really going to come crashing down or if it's going to amaze me again and continue to go up. So that's my video on how powerful stories could be in investing and how we have to be careful with those stories. Please consider my sponsors that are sponsoring my channel. I'm being sponsored by Seeking Alpha. It's a great platform for investor information. I encourage you to visit their site. If you'd like to subscribe, please use a link that I'm going to provide in the video description to get signed up. They offer a free trial, and I would get some compensation if you signed up with them. If you are interested in a really strong offer from a brokerage, I'm also being sponsored by Moomoo, who will pay you 8.1% on deposits for 3 months and then 5.1% after that. It's a really nice return on cash. And they'll also give you 15 free stocks if you deposit more than $1,000. Take a look at Moomoo if you're interested in a new brokerage and if that offer is interesting to you. With that, let me thank you for watching and good luck investing in 2024.